Here we go. I had a student say we should multiply everything by x, and they were right. I'm going to multiply all of these things by x, but to save myself time, I'm going to also multiply by the other denominator at the same time. Multiply everything by 3. Now, it's important for you to know that those are on the top. When there is a fraction, when you multiply by something, you're putting it on the top. Now I can cancel stuff. That cancels that. And the 3 cancels the 3. And I'm left with 3 times 1, which is 3, plus x times 1, which is x, is equal to 3 times 2x is 6x. Do you get how that is super easy all of a sudden? It went from hard to easy. And all you had to do is multiply by the denominator. All right, from here, let's just finish it. Minus x, 3 equals 5x. And Studer, what's the final answer? Apparently you did not finish yet. 3/5. All right, everybody try this one now without me. 2 over x plus 1 over 7 is equal to 4. Taylor, name one thing you're going to multiply by. X. Good. Connor, what's the other thing you're going to multiply by? Good. Common mistake time. And I get it. They multiplied both sides by 7x. But they're wrong. It's going to be wrong. Can you see where the mistake is? You have to multiply this by 7x also. You can't skip one of the terms. Why? Because this has to be distributed. Think of it this way. If there had been a parenthesis around that whole side, you would have distributed it in. So now what cancels? That does. And that does. 14 plus x equals 28x. Marcella, next step. 14 equals 27x. Now what? Yep. 14/7. Okay. Next, let's talk reducing. I know they talked about this yesterday on the video. If it was written like this every time, wouldn't it be like, duh, just cancel the 2's? But it's not. It's written like this, 6/10. And then you have to make this, and then you cancel the 2's, 3/5. Okay, so here's one for you to try. 36 over 10. Make it into two things that are multiplied. Factor it, in other words. Chucky, name something 36 can break into.
6
Times.
6.
Yep. And the other bottom part, the problem is there isn't any 6 that goes in the bottom part. So then I'd rule that one out and say, it's not going to be that. You know what I mean? 6 times 6 does make 36, but you can't make a 6 into a 10. So maybe I should do the harder number first. 10 doesn't have as many choices, so maybe 2 and 5. And 5 doesn't go into 36, but 2 does. So 2 times 18 cancels 18/5. Do you also know that that's the same as 15/5 plus 3/5, which is 3 3/5? Another little thing that isn't taught that much at the elementary schools is this really means 3 plus 3/5. It certainly doesn't mean 3 times 3/5. It's 3 plus 3/5. 3 3/5 means 3 plus 3/5. Any questions about that one? Okay. There's adding fractions. There's subtracting it, which is basically the same thing. There's multiplying them, which is super easy. And there's dividing them. I would like you to add, subtract, multiply, and divide them. I'm going to pause for a second while you do that. This is the basics, Everything boils down to this for this unit. The unit's called rationals, which basically means fractions, except they have x's in them. But if you can't do it when they're just normal numbers, how are you going to do it when there's x's? So if it's going to be 21, then I'm going to multiply this by 3 and this by 3, and the other one?
7.
Yep. 7 plus the 6, 13 21st. That's the fast way. Anybody else get 13 over 21? Cool. Then the next one, easiest of them all. 2 times 1 is 2, 7 times 3 is 21. Multiply is the easy kind. Then this, that's why you want to make this into a multiply. But I can't just multiply them, that'd be different. So I multiply by their reciprocal. 7 over 2. Final answer, 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6, 7, 6. I'm fine with that answer. Or 1 and 1/6. Yep. You do not have to put the plus between them. But you do need to understand that it means 1 plus 1/6. Okay, so what did you learn yesterday? Well, there's x's all over the place for one thing. Let's see if you learned enough. X squared minus 16, which if you can factor it, you should. And x plus 4 on the bottom. I want to see if you can factor and then cancel the right stuff. Let me see what you get. Pause for a second. Okay, so on this one, did you remember that this is x plus 4 and x minus 4? That's called factoring. I said it was the number one thing that you needed to get off of those 20s. You know, basic 20, first 20. Number one. So you got to know how that breaks into that. And then you can look at the things that'll cancel. That and that are exactly the same. So since this is part of a times problem up there, I can cancel it. Gone, gone. The answer is x minus 4. Raise your hand if you had x minus 4. Sweet. Okay. What if I'm multiplying this? X squared plus 2x minus 7 over 4 times 3 over x minus 1. I'm suspicious that there would be an x minus 1 on the top in here if you factored it. But in my head, I just tried to factor it quick, and I don't think it factors. But when you move up to the higher level math classes, that's what they're going to do. This part would have an x minus 1, and this part would have an x minus 1, and then they cancel. But apparently, we're at an easier math class than that. So you just have to multiply the top, so the 3 gets distributed into all the parts, and multiply out the bottom. And I also would have been okay with this answer. I want somebody to tell me why it's okay to leave it like this. Anybody know why it's okay? Why don't I have to multiply it out? Because right now it is what? It's factored. And if you can factor it, you should. So I'd say leave it like that. That's even faster. Why? Because it's factored. Could you multiply it out? Sure. No, in my class, if you can factor it, you should. So I'm fine with you leaving it that way because it's factored. Now, it wouldn't be that hard to multiply this out. And if you did, it'd be 3x squared plus 6x minus 21 all over 4x minus 4. But is that better? No, that's not better. Because I can't see what to cancel. If it's factored, I can see if stuff will cancel or not. And this one is factored and nothing will cancel, so that's better. I think this is better. All right. That was, by the way, one of last night's homework. So, all right. I saw this one on the homework and I was thinking, I bet some kid's going to think you can cancel the y's. You can't. Why not? This y is really over 1. Do you see that both y's are actually on the top then? You can't cancel them if they're both on the top. You just multiply them. What's y times y? Say it. Y squared over 3 times 1 is 3. That's the answer. Okay, so kids think all the time that this kind of thing is why. Oh, look at that. There's one here and there's one here. They can cancel. No, what has to be on the bottom of a fraction and the top of a fraction, and then they could cancel. All right, here's another thing the kids think all the time. I know that most of you would do it right, but what do you think would be a common wrong answer on the test? Just think about a wrong way to do it that would be easy to do, but wrong. You have a guess? Yes. So 3x over? Yeah. Why is that wrong? You're right. It's wrong. And that was what I was thinking of. Happens all the time. What are kids doing wrong in their head? They're thinking it's 3 over 3. Is 3 the same as 3 over 3? No, 3 over 3 is 1. That's not the same. So if that's not that, then it's really 3 over 1. So whenever you have a number that's not a fraction, make it a fraction, because fractions play nice with other fractions. Okay, good. So I am happy to announce that today is you get to work on old homework, but everybody has to first get last night's homework done. So if it's not already turned in, open it up. I'm going to walk around and I'll be able to either see that you've got last night's homework in, awesome, or have it open and be working on it. Then, after that's done, what else could you do? Well, some kids have been asking about coming in to take tests. Tomorrow, during class, during this hour, I'd be willing to let you take tests. So if you want to take a retake that you've wanted to retake for a while, take it tomorrow. During class. You don't have to come in early. Okay? Another thing you could do during tomorrow is if you don't have a test to retake, then I'm going to encourage you to take another first 20 test. What if you already got 18, 19, or 20? I'm not going to make you if you have an 18, 19, or a 20. But if your first 20 isn't awesome yet, and there's still improvement you could make, then we're going to do a first 20. And some of you might want to take retakes. That's top priority. Or I missed this test. I need to take it. That's a top priority. The next priority is a top 20. And if your top 20 is already awesome, work on late work. All right, so that's the plan for the rest of today and all of tomorrow. All right, that's what I got for you for today.